Tune in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Listen, we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Yes, it is the Kim Jacobs Show. And guess what? It's FreeStyle Friday. How are you all today over there, our FreeStyle Friday experts?
Oh, yeah.
Great. Excited to be
good. Doing good.
Good. Listen, everybody, grab your virtual seats. We have a great show lined up for you today. We have someone all the way from Canada. Say hello to everyone, Natasha.
Hello.
Hello. She's going to be doing our mental health check-in, as she always does an excellent job. We have Kiwan Amy with us today as well. Tell them hello, Kiwan.
Hello, everybody.
And he's our vision expert. So he's going to be talking to you a little bit about his backstory and what transpired in his life that ultimately helped him become the vision expert here on the Kim Jacobs Show. We have our powerhouse in motion expert. She's a business coach and extraordinaire, Pamela Lewing. Tell them, everybody say hello.
Great day, everyone. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And you can see the woman over there in yellow. She already knows that she brings sunshine. She's our sunshine expert, Athena Robertson. How are you, Athena?
Great morning to everyone. I'm doing well and hope you are.
Oh, is that a deeper voice that you're using today?
What's that? No, sis. This is my Let's Go Friday. I'm ready.
Oh, okay. You know, I've always envisioned having like this sultry voice. Like whenever I do speak, I'm going to speak like this. And hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. But then when I get on, I'm like, hey. So Natasha, you might be able to help us understand.
I was just going to say, for somebody who has a deep voice, then at least you get to avoid the, hi, sir. I just said my name was Natasha. Why are you saying sir? Like, you know, I've been told I have the deep, sultry voice, but it comes with some other stuff.
Oh, that's so interesting. So I shouldn't be necessarily requesting a deeper voice. Just go with what God blessed me with, right?
There you go.
But apparently I've got a great, like when I worked with kids, I was the go-to person to read bedtime stories because the kids loved it.
Oh, because it puts them to sleep. It's soothing.
Yeah.
And
apparently I have a soothing voice.
Okay, listen, y'all, in the studio audience, you can chime in on anything that we're talking about. So do you have a challenge with your voice and what God has already blessed you with? Put it in the comment section if you're like, oh, I really wish my voice was higher pitched or lower pitched or whatever. Make sure you chime in on all of today's discussions. Again, FreeStyle Friday is really about you and the things that matter most to you. So any topics you want to talk about, just put it in the comment section and let's talk about it. Somebody on this panel probably knows the answer. So make sure you put it. And let me also do this. If you want to come into the studio, I'm going to put the link that will enable you to be a part of today's discussion. How about that? But you do have to show your camera. All right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get a chance to hear from Kiwan.
Yay!
Yeah.
We had some backstage discussion about who was going first. So Kiwan is like, be ye oh so ready. So he's going first as our male panelist today. We'll be right back, everyone, right after this commercial break. And we'll hear from Kiwan Amy.
Why learn about health when you can experience it? Experience it in beautiful Florida in February 2024. Join us for 3 days of integrative and intensive health and healing education and empowerment with the expertise of the following Healthopedia author, speaker, and facilitators. The world-renowned homeopath and acupuncture physician, Dr. James Marinakis, 4-decade health coach and holistic nutritionist, Dr. Joe D. Bear, and others such as Kimberly Meredith, Dame Doria Cordova, Rex Sykes, Dr. Gary Sanchez, Jamie Kerr, Serena Brown Travis, and more. Experience daily morning walking and yoga, interactive participation, panel discussions, and more. For your own epiphany of health. Get your tickets now.
All right, everyone. Yes. So today's episode is sponsored by Dr. Joe D. Bear. Dr. Joe D. Bear is having a conference in Florida, Boca Raton, Florida, and that's going to be all-inclusive type of conference. And you can reach out to her at 800-820-0584. Again, 800-820-0584, or visit drjod.com/healthopedia-florida-event. All right, Kiwan, talk to us and just tell us some of your backstory. A lot of people haven't seen you here in a while. So talk to us about your life and some things that transpired that made you the vision expert here on the Kim Jacobs Show.
Yes, Kim. First and foremost, thank you for having me again on the show. Yes, it has been a little while. And I'm glad to be back, honestly. When I heard your voice again this morning, like I told you backstage, I was like, oh, it was so refreshing and warming. And yeah, so a little bit about me and my backstory. Born and raised in Durham, North Carolina. And, went to school at Southern High School, graduated from there. And I wanted to go to college, but there were some issues with that, paperwork. I'll leave it up to politics. Anywho, I ended up joining the world's greatest Air Force and going to serve 10 years, 3 months, and 17 days in the United States Air Force. Well, who's counting?
Right. Well, thank you
so,
for your service, just so you know, because I don't want to wait till the end and then forget to say that. Thank you.
Yes, I greatly appreciate it. I definitely enjoy a lot of my time in. And what I was doing in the service it's titled in-flight refueling. I was an in-flight refueling specialist, and that's where you refuel planes in midair. So dangerous, to say the least. Maybe that should be the name I have in quotes, dangerous. It's that Kiwi. But anywho, yeah, no, I had a great time doing that in-flight refueling on the KC-135, and it was beautiful getting to travel and see the world and serve my country, but also just get an experience of a lifetime. And then one blissful day, because it was actually a really nice day that day, on May 5th, 2017, to be exact. I was involved in a motorcycle accident where a guy pulled out in front of me, and the rest is history. I was hospitalized for 2 months, and I was in a medically induced coma for a month. So,
and that was on May 5th, 2017, you said? That's
correct. What may be Cinco de Mayo for some is now my new life. So,
and you were coming from somewhere, I remember from a long time ago, you telling this, that you were literally coming from something that was an additional passion of yours. Tell everybody where you were coming from.
Yes. So as you guys might notice, my name says Kiwan, Kiwi Amy. Well, I had actually started a business called Kiwi Enterprise. And Kiwi is a nickname of mine since childhood. And I used to do website design and management, social media marketing, and photography, which is what Kim is getting to. She's alluding to right now. And that's what I was doing. I was going to take pictures. Well, I had already taken some at my church because I was the webmaster there, and I needed to refresh the website and update it because we had some additions added to it. And then I was wanting to go ride my bike elsewhere because that was really close and really short, a short ride from where my apartment was. And so I took a ride to the lake, Jordan Lake, for those who might be familiar with North Carolina area. That's where I went. I went to Jordan Lake, and that is one of my spots as well that I go just to clear my mind. I go to a little dock, and I just sit out there listening to the water caress up against the rocks, and listen to a car or two go by because it's like in the it's like in the back of the woods, so you don't hear too many cars. It's not like you're in the middle of the city, but it's very, very peaceful and a space where you can clear your head. And so as I was leaving there, and I used to visit this place frequently, and I have not been back since the accident. That's actually something I just discovered the other day doing a neurology survey. They asked me that question. I was like, actually, I haven't even been back yet. And I don't know if it's connected or not.
Huh.
But
do you think you'll ever go? Do you think you'll ever go back there?
I personally, I put it this way. I don't mind going back there.
Okay.
But I think the reason I used to go there was so that I could get the solitude of just me being alone. And just, this is where I could talk to God. This is where I could just, clear my thoughts and just literally be at peace with myself. It's usually not many. If anybody's out there, it's not many. It's like maybe 2 people out there with you. So, and it was one of those kind of places that you go just to separate yourself. And I would definitely like to go back and just sit in this area and be at peace with it. But yeah, that was just a question that arose in that survey. And so, like I said, I've actually taken pictures of it. That website is still accessible. I still have that website up as well, which is kiwienterprisenc.com. And you could go to Kiwi Photography and see the pictures of the lake that I had taken back then.
Kiwi Enterprise, what is it?
NC for North Carolina. So
Okay.
yeah, kiwienterprisenc.com.
And it's KIWE?
KIWI, like the fruit.
Okay.
And then enterprise.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So Kiwi like the fruit, enterprisenc.com.
Okay.
Yep.
And I'll put that in the comments section for you all too.
Thank you. And so yeah, I was leaving there because I had to go actually work for the Air Force Reserve that night. And sure enough, this guy in a silver Honda Accord pulls out in front of me. And the only reason I know this information is from the police report, because of the 2 cars that were there who stayed around for the scene. Thank you. I'm grateful to them first and foremost, because he could have fled and left me out there.
That's right.
And so they wrote in the police report that they saw me coming, so they don't know why he didn't. And that was like one of those types of remarks really bothers me, because it makes me say, well, what were you doing not to see me? And that's it's actually a question that I don't really want to know the answer to, because I'm one of those people that's like, please don't be a distracted driver. Whether it's eating, whether it's on your phone, whether it's painting your fingernails while driving. And I say that out loud because that has actually happened. When I was driving, we were riding by someone. A woman was painting her fingernails while she was driving. And I was like, are you serious right now? Like, she was swerving back and forth and we were trying to figure out why. But these are the things that people are doing, just being careless.
And not even knowing, literally, I know I can only speak for myself. Every time I've almost gotten into an incident, it has something to do with doing something on the phone. And they just really don't even realize that they're drifting or sliding. No knowledge that it's happening. So I've vowed, just sit my phone down when I'm driving. And all those beeps and dings, I will get to them, because I've been definitely guilty of doing stuff. I'm looking down and I realized I done drifted and didn't realize I was even drifting. I thought I was totally in control. So this is some good conversation to have. No texting and driving, no eating and painting our nails and doing makeup and all the stuff that I'm not even talking about everybody else. When you point one finger, 4 are pointing back at you when you're pointing at somebody else. So keep that in mind. I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
But Kiwan, what do you have for us today from a vision? Just a couple of points that you would share with people on how to keep their vision in life.
Yeah, so as we talked backstage, we might have been in a joking manner, but I always take it serious because it was a quote that came to me Just one day as I was talking to and mentoring someone at church, and they were, really having a rough time, but they always saw me smiling. They were like, how in the heck do you just keep walking in here like nothing ever happened to you? I said, no, first off, something did happen to me, but I didn't allow it to define me. That's the biggest thing. My situation doesn't define who I am. I define who I am. And then secondly, I told them, I said, I might have lost my vision in that or my sight in that accident, but I didn't lose my vision. And my vision was always to help others. I joined the Air Force to serve my country, to help others. I have started a business to help others. Two now, if you think of it now, I was serving people when I was doing Kiwi Enterprise, and now I'm serving people as a motivational speaker to get them to understand that there is life after adversity. You can be very resilient in your life after something that happens to you negatively, and it's not over unless you say it's over, because so many people just give up on themselves. After something traumatic, especially something such as what happened to me, they could easily give up. I could have easily gave up. But guess what I didn't do? I didn't wallow in my pity, and I got up and started my own party.
Yeah.
Celebrate anything. It's going to be my life because I'm still here. And like I shared with you earlier today, some people tend to put you in a category or want to value you for you. Don't allow anybody to value you.
Special offer experience unlimited meetings.
Value yourself. You determine what your worth is. I heard someone once say, I refuse to be small because you think small.
You preaching, Kiwan. You know that.
Look now, don't make me now.
And you got that keyboard over there too. You can go.
Hey, and the drums. And the drums.
And the drums. You set. All we need is you to get over there. Dun, 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 dun.
But it's so real, I can only imagine if I didn't, take heed to see. So many people come to me for advice, but I can't give you advice if I don't get something from somewhere else.
That's right.
Because you can't pour from an empty cup. I'm telling you that right now.
You taking everybody's points, Kiwan. Everybody like, okay, we gonna have Athena like, see, I knew I should have went first because this dude here, he done did the most.
I gave them the opportunity.
Y'all listen, it's Freestyle Friday. We're gonna hear one more point from you, Kiwan, and then we're gonna transition over to Athena.
But lastly, I will leave you all with this because, like I said, I am a motivational speaker now after the accident. And with, starting my business, when you have somebody who might be working with you or working, for you, whatever the case may be, however you want to word it, I like to say with, because I don't like people working for me,
Right.
It makes it somewhat belittles, and I don't like that. And so what it is that I think about, and I just, since we hit the new year, I was like, you know what, it's 2024. Last year's done. I can't do anything about it. This year, I'm going to start us off with a fresh meeting, a meeting of, we got to go do this. Resilience is the word we're using this year. Committed. We're going to be committed to the actual goal here. And that's to motivate, inspire, encourage. That's what we're here for. And that was what I led with. I'm like, we can't, and I also said we can't limit ourselves, because that's what we do as not just business owners. Anybody can do it. Even when I used to play the drums, I used to limit myself. I used to stay in a little bubble. Oh, no, don't go outside. Somebody's going to get you. And so you have to be mindful to those things. Don't limit yourself.
Don't limit yourself. So you listen, y'all have so many points from our vision expert, Kiwan Amy. You could tell it's his first time back in a good way because he's like, I'm ready. I'm ready. So he got plenty
Yeah.
of points. And I'm so honored that you're here today. Let people know how they can stay connected with you. And also let me put your book up because there's a book that he wrote, and I want to pop that on the screen here for you all. Tell them the title of it. It's on the screen.
All right. Yes. This is my first book. Probably won't be my last. And it's titled Don't Focus on Why Me, From Motorcycle Accident to Miracle.
That's the actual image of his at where he was.
Yeah, that's the dock that I told you guys I go to from the lake. And that is you standing on it and looking towards the trees, the tree line. And then that motorcycle you see is my actual motorcycle that I had the accident on.
Wow. Okay. So you can get a copy of this book, which I encourage you to do so, and definitely stay connected with Kiwan Kiwi Amy at amymotivation.com. Amymotivation.com. Instead of taking a commercial break, we're going to go right to our next expert, which now she's probably like the sun and changed colors over here messing with Kiwan. But we have Athena Robertson, our sunshine expert. Talk to us, Athena, and tell us about you and the sunshine you're bringing to the Kim Jacobs Show today.
First and foremost, thank you to my sister Kim, who always opens up the beautiful platform for us to be on here to express our views and the things that we have on our hearts to share. I do want to give a shout out to my brother Kiwan for opening up this show, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and confirm to what he was saying. What way to top it off? Great minds think alike. So I am all here for it. So this morning, what I bring to you guys is that in we're in the year 2024, new year, which gratefully we all made it here, and everyone looks beautiful on the panel. So, you cannot stay stuck in the past. The past is the past. So all you can do is reflect and move forward. So we've talked about celebrating, prepping, planning, on many of the conversations I've had on this platform with you all. And so this time I bring to you just walking it out. Walk out your vision, walk out your dream, walk out your goals, and what does that look like for you? And you guys, I had time to really sit and think about this. And so first and foremost, I'm truly grateful to God for the word that He gives me and allows me to share with you all. So most of the time, when we choose to walk in our purpose, God will give us the tools and the resources and the right connections to fill each assignment that He has given to us. So this is your year and your season to walk it out. And in walking it out, make sure that you are doing the things that lead up into, we've talked about proper rest. We talked about eating healthy. We talked about positive energy, keeping your mind focused, keeping your mind reset and renewed. And we have to do that daily, you guys. That day, it takes you to get up with the right attitude. It takes you to get up, and say, hey, I set these goals in front of me, and these are the plans that I need to carry out these goals. And if you don't have a plan, if you don't have some type of guidance, and I'm gonna say for me, I'm gonna speak for Athena,
Right.
prayer, meditation, I do get a good night's sleep. I
Yeah.
have sitting down and wrote my vision and made it plain, imagine it, and now speak it and move forward from there. And when you have a clear vision, when you have the right directions to go, you're moving in the right speed. So now that's you walking out your purpose. That's you walking out your journey. And if you don't have that, that is okay. It's never it's never too late. What works for you works for you. What works for Athena and my walk and my purpose works for me. What works for Kiwan, his walk, his purpose works for him. The same with Natasha, the same with my new friend, Miss Pam. Also, my sister Kim, she does it daily and you see it all the time. Um, that works for them. So I do not compare myself. I do not set my standards. Oh, I gotta be up there with Kiwan because I gotta get this done. No, a lot of times, and I've said it before and I'll say it again because again it's the new year. What works for Kiwan works for Kiwan. What works for Athena works for Athena. And nobody know what it takes for us to get to that part of our journey So therefore, you just want to step back and take time. And so in that, I thought about, what is a great, inspiring, and positive word or scripture? And I will give you Jeremiah 29:11. God knows the plans that He has for us. Our plans and our thoughts are totally different than what God thinks for us. And sometimes because we limited our thinking, God's plan is way bigger. So we have to think outside the box.
That's right.
And when you allow yourself to think outside the box, and that's also called getting out your comfort zone, things work so much better for you. So now listen, we're talking about walking this thing out. Now you got to walk it out, and not saying that it's always going to be roses. You're going to have some roses, you're going to have some thorns, but the great thing about the thorns is, how do you choose to handle those thorns? We know how to smell the roses, we know how to accept and embrace the roses, but how do you plan to handle the thorns that you are given? How is your reaction going to be? Are you going to let that mess up your whole day, or are you going to take the time to stop, think, breathe, and say, did I miss something? Or can I look at it from another aspect and then move forward? Or are you just going to let the whole day crumble? Well, if you let the whole day crumble, now you're missing out on time that you can't get back. You guys got to stay focused. Again, it's the new year, so no worries. And again, it's never too late. It's never too late to start. And so being in that, knowing that it's not too late, you are always encouraged. I've always encouraged people or encouraged others to seek God in prayer. If you're a strong believer in God, or whatever you believe in, to each his own, then I would definitely say, the best way to do that. Sometimes it works best in the morning. I've heard people say their great time of peace and meditation come at night, or some otherwise will say the great peace come early in the morning, in the wee hours while it's still dark outside.
That's
And that's the
good.
best time to get your thoughts clear. And when you wake up, it's not that, oh, I felt something. Normally, I would say it's the Holy Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit that is telling you, hey, you should not go this direction. I prefer you to go this direction. But if you're going to choose to go your own direction and not listen, be ready for the consequences and the actions that come with that.
That's right.
So, also something that Key once said was, don't let nobody add their values. Nope, that's not what my brother said. I took a notes. Sorry, I want to make sure I get it right.
Determine your value, basically.
Don't determine, yeah. Don't allow people to value you. Don't determine your value is what he was saying. And so that came a part of my message the other day as I was sitting down and getting some clear thoughts. Is right. Don't allow people to determine your value. You
Good.
determine what your value is worth. You know what you are worth, and when you know that, then you know how to handle handle yourself in a manner that is going to set you apart from everybody, and not you being on everybody else's expectations but your own expectations. So that is what I bring you today. Is a you know what it costs. You know what it costs. You know the job at hand. You given the assignment, and so now you just got to walk it out. So thank you for joining me today, and that's all from your sunshine expert.
Oh, you knocked it out the park. So okay, so this is like literally a continuum here. This is like, okay, Kiwan started, he got there to the batter's race, he's ready. He already hits a home run. He's out the park. Then you come and you hit another home run. So now what happens when 4 home runs? I don't know what happens in baseball when that happens. I don't know why I make that point. Because now
I don't think
somebody
it means anything special when there's 4 home runs. It's not like a hat trick in hockey, or I don't think there's anything special about.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Because
there has to be
home
something
Now,
significant.
now,
If
now,
you get a home run that everybody's on base,
Right.
that's a grand slam.
that's a grand slam.
But
Grand
if you
Slam.
repeated home runs individually, I don't think that has significance. But
Only
you
the
can call that one a
mental,
grand
mental
slam.
health expert would know that, right? She's like, there's no rhyme or reason to this, Kim. It's just multiple home runs is what it is. Okay.
But each home run carries a victory. So if everybody get a victory, that leads up to the grand slam, then we all winning. So that's what I'm saying. Long as you always winning, knowing that you always winning, keep moving forward.
Well, technically, it's the grand slam because it's going to be Kiwan, you, then Pam. That's the grand slam. No. Then this is true because then Natasha comes up and it's all the bases are filled.
Knock it out the park.
We made it. We did a grand
We
slam.
doing it. Let's go.
Listen, how can people stay connected with you, Athena, please?
Oh, of course. I am Athena Robertson on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I got to put that up there. I am Red Honey on IG. That's REDHON. I am also the owner of Express Notary Public here in the Mecklenburg County area. If you need a notary, I'll come to you. You can reach me at 980-200-5740. And
Say that
also,
one
good
more
morning to
time.
my aunt. You said
Say
one
it
more
one more
time?
time, the phone number.
Okay, and you can also reach me at 980-200-5740.
All right. Now, we always get to just hear your points, but I would love for people to also know that you balance a lot of different hats. You are talk just for at least a minute about some of those other hats that you wear because you're a mom, you're a daughter, your school, all of the stuff. Tell everybody briefly about that.
Yeah. So, besides being a sunshine expert, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a great friend. I'm also a coordinator. I work in the educational field. So a lot of people know me from Central Piedmont Community College, and also I am the owner of my nonprofit organization that is growing every day, Joyful Hearts Transitional Housing. So I'm truly grateful to God. That is my vision. That is me serving people. I'm a servant leader at heart, and giving back to the community of helping unhoused families here in the Charlotte Mecklenburg area have housing and have the resources they need to be more stable when they get back into their own house. So that's what Joyful Hearts transitional housing is for building up the community. I'm also an elder in my church. And I serve in the community. I also love to volunteer at the Ronald McDonald's House, and I also volunteer at the hospital. That's how I met my sister Kim with Great Gabe's Heart. So participated in a few community events with Sister Kim as well. I've been in the nonprofit world now for over 15 years. So I'm just grateful to God to just be able to give back and move forward. So yeah, striving in my purpose daily.
Yay! So, see, I need the people to hear the heart of the sunshine expert as to why we call her that. And
Yeah.
her points are always wonderful and God inspired. But I also want you to know more about her and how you can connect with her outside of even the show. So, thank you so much, Athena. Let's do a quick flash round of some of the comments because I know y'all are like, look here, Kim. I know I'm not over here typing all of this and you acting like you don't see any of these comments. So,
Good
we're going to
morning,
take
Frida.
Go ahead. Address some of these comments.
Yeah.
Lynn,
So Miss Lynn, she says, walk it out. Yes, Miss Lynn, we got to walk it out. And also Miss Wanda Pendergrass, thank you for sharing. Thank you, Miss Wanda, for joining. My Aunt Lisa Mackey is on. Good morning. And attitude from Miss Wanda Pendergrass says, attitude toward challenges matter. True. Positive
yes.
attitudes. Also from my bestie Carmelita Hubbard Ely says, good morning. And individuality is definitely, we're all individuality set apart, but we're all created uniquely and wonderfully.
Let me say this about Wanda Pendergrass. She
Mm-hmm.
actually has conversations with my dad, and
Mm-hmm.
that is something that you all. She does a blog on. Definitely follow her. I met her through eWomen Network, and she'll be actually at the event coming up on Thursday at the Charlotte Museum of History. If any of you all are going to be attending, but anyway, she has conversations with dad, and it is really powerful blog. So check it
Yes, it
out,
is.
Wanda Pendergrass. All
Mm-hmm.
right, go ahead. More comments. You can't pour from an empty cup,
Yeah.
Wanda says. Mackenzie says, Kiwan, we have an open spot for a guest next week. Book yourself and come on and be a guest because you're great. Okay. Like you need a
what
whole
platform?
hour.
What platform is this?
She'll tell you, trust me. Okay. And staying connected with Athena Robertson again on Facebook and on all of her social media handles as Red Honey as well. I can't see it. Let me see here. Okay. Red Honey with two eyes, HONII, the number 7 on Instagram. Y'all make sure you go and follow her. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break and then we're going to come back and squeeze our new expert in, which is Pamela Lewing. How are you, Pamela?
I am awesome. This is exciting. Kiwan and Athena set it up. They loaded the bases. I'm ready to keep it going.
All right, all right. I see Pamela Howard on here too. She's one of our Freestyle Friday experts. She does luxury event planning and she wears so many different hats, which I'm sure she'll be revealing some new hats that she's working on when she comes on our next Freestyle Friday episode, whenever it's her schedule permits. So she's on and she said hello. Wanda Prendergrass said, thank you, Kim. Hey, thank you, Wanda, for being here. All right, everybody. Hey, friend, I love your positivity. Brittany says, I gotta put these glasses on. I don't know. Okay.
You read it right.
I read it right.
Look at my eyes.
You're so crazy, Kiwan over there. Okay, get up and start your own party. That's good. Good.
Yeah.
Pamela Howard said, that's some good stuff. There's some good stuff happening today. Wanda Pendergrass is clapping. All right. All right. We're going to get back to some more. I love this. Vanita Henson says, I love this. All right. We'll come back to some more comments and thank you for your active participation. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more of Freestyle Friday. Pamela Lewing will be right here next. All right, everyone. Today's episode is sponsored by vproducts.store. vproducts.store. People rave about that coffee, so definitely go and get yours. Everybody that's reached out, they're like, I need that website for the coffee. And one of them is 6 infused mushroom that are in the coffee. So one of the selections. So make sure you tell them the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. All right, Pamela Lewing is our powerhouse in motion business coach expert right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Welcome, Pamela.
Thank you so much for having me, Lady Kim.
Glad to have you here today. And you are literally a powerhouse. You've come from pink slips to being able to be, is it a mogul? What is it?
You say a mogul, business mogul.
Yeah.
Working on the mogul.
Yeah,
I'm already there. I'll receive it all. Yes.
Okay. Talk to us and tell us what you have for us today here on Freestyle Friday.
So equipped, empowered, poised, and positioned. To move those who are ready to move is my ultimate mission. I wake up every day determined to make a difference in my assigned place. You see, my purpose, my passion, and my focus is to take each one of you from where you are to where you want to be. I am, again, Coach P, Pamela Lewing, Coach P, and I help coaches package their brilliance and take it to the marketplace. We offer a one-stop shop. And so today, what I have for you is the 7 essentials of business well-being. And what's so exciting is as I look at Kiwan and Athena and Natasha, as she'll be coming up, what I'm sharing with you fits so nicely in all of the conversations, because the 7 essentials of well-being, we're talking about, some people make New Year's resolutions, right?
Right.
Some people just make decisions and say, okay, I'm going to do this, and this, and then they just go do it. So whatever your goal is, whatever your resolution is, I offer to you the 7 essentials of well-being. So it's all about the mind, the body, and the soul. So it's the 7 essentials of well-being. Kim, I'll type it right here for you.
Oh, here I have. Okay, yeah. I see 7 essentials of well-being, but I gotta get the 7.
There you are there. Okay, so mind, body, soul. So let's begin with the mind first. When we're talking about the mind, there are 4 elements that every human being has to face, deal with, orchestrate, manage. And the first is psychological. So we have our therapist here today, Miss Natasha, and she's going to be bringing up the rear, but it's just so apropos in terms of your positioning today, because that really is the bottom line. How do we manage our thoughts, right? How do we manage those thoughts? And it's okay to have a therapist. It is okay. I have one. And it's just so critical, right, to our well-being that our thoughts are not controlling us, but we are controlling our thoughts and how to compartmentalize because we face so much every day. So that's the psychological. And then Natasha's going to be sharing more about that area. And then, of course, there is the emotional, which is following up, right? It's how we manage our emotions. And Athena talked about those, how do we react to those thorns in our lives? That's called emotional management. So I truly believe that if I had learned, Kim, if I had learned emotional management when I was young,
Right.
I'd be so much further in life now, because it's truly our emotions that we get caught up in that prevents us from moving forward. So in business and life, we've got to really look at how are we showing up with our emotions for ourselves and how are we managing those emotions. So that's a whole nother talk show as we move into the next, which is intellectual development. How are we developing our minds every single day? Every day is an opportunity to learn something, to read something, to learn from someone else who's had an experience like Kiwan, moving past your circumstances and not allowing your circumstances to define who you are. That's knowledge, right? That we can tap back into. And of course, the word is always a great guide for us as we develop ourselves intellectually. And then lastly is financial. This world is made up of money. We can't get around it, can't get over it, can't get through it, right? We have to deal with money, and money, the beginning of the understanding of money and how we manage it all begins in the mind. So those are the 4 essentials to the mind. Now let's talk about the body. There are 2 elements there. The first is the physical. How are we taking care of ourselves? Have we made our doctor's appointments for this new year? We're in a new year, 2024, and it's time to make sure that we are as healthy as we can possibly be. So making time for those doctor's appointments, and then making those decisions in terms of what we take into our bodies, because we are what we eat. I know it sounds cliche, but it is true. It is so true. Try eating candy all week long and drinking soda all week long. Try it. I guarantee you by Sunday, I don't even know if you make it to Sunday. If you start Monday, candy and Snicker bars and potato chips and all that all week. And then by Sunday, you're going to be like, okay, somebody just get me to a hospital because, sugar overload, junk overload. It's really all about what we're putting in our bodies. No whites, no white sugars, limit meats. If you have to do meat, as I have been educated, do chicken breast, because any other meats create acid buildup in the lining of the stomach, which breeds, diseases and things like that. But the vegetarians would say no meat. We can do without meat. So I'm a work in progress on that piece. But so, we've got to be mindful of what we take into our bodies. That's the physical. And exercise, right? We've got to exercise. We've got to get our bodies moving. So let's go, whether it's walking, whether it's, whatever you enjoy doing, let's make sure that we do that. So that's the physical. And then the social is so very, very important. The social. And Kiwan talked about allowing people not to place value on you. Well, guess what? If we align ourselves with people who are of high value as well, then we can share with one another and create even more value in ourselves by the people we hang around. And so what do your circles look like in 2024? What do your personal circles look like? And what do your business circles look like? Right? Are they people who pour into you and you pour back into them and you elevate one another? And then business, assess, because of course it takes money to make money. So we've got to make investments. Like I'm excited to rejoin eWomen Network with Kim. And, we've got to be mindful of our connections and be intentional about those connections. So I'd encourage you, take a look at those social interactions that you had in 2023. If they did not get you to where you need to be, then we need to perhaps shift, right, for 2024. So masterminds, accountability partners are so critical. I've got about 5 accountability partners in various facets of my business and my life, right? So what do your social constructs look like? So that's the mind, the body, and lastly, it's the soul, the spiritual component. It is the rock. That's what we believe in, and all of our decisions, how we move, how we think, our being, our very being is grounded and rooted in our spirituality and what we believe in. So that is the mind, the body, and the soul. The mind, again, was the psychological, the emotional, intellectual, and the financial. The body is the physical and the social, and then last is your spirituality. We should, whatever we believe in, we should walk it, we should talk it, we should be it. And that's what I have for us today, Kim.
Wow. Okay, so what she has for us today was nothing short of amazing, and we're glad that you came on to share these powerful essentials that's needed for us to move forward. Let me put your contact information up because I want people to know how they can stay connected with you, Pamela Lewing. This is some good stuff, y'all.
Yes, thank you. Everyone can stay connected with me, and I have a free gift for you there at www.powerhouseinmotion.com. So if you go over there and join our community, we are a robust community moving in an incredible direction. And if you are looking to reset your business, reset your mind and your focus for 2024, we have Focus on 2024 coming up on January 30th. It's a 3-day boot camp and it is free. So I invite you to come, and you can go ahead and email me so I can give you a special invitation at Coach P at powerhouseinmotion.com. That's Coach P at powerhouseinmotion.com, and I will send you a special invitation.
You all don't want to miss these opportunities to connect with these FreeStyle Friday experts. They all are powerhouses in their own right and offer so much information and ways for you to move forward in your life. If you're dealing with being stuck, you don't have to be stuck when you can connect with any of the experts that's here on this panel. So I saw some comments coming in. Pop them up for me. Mackenzie, thank you for being backstage helping. So go ahead and pop some of those comments up, if you will. Pamela, this is great tips too.
Thank you.
Okay, the season of reset, Paula Neal says. PowerhouseInMotion.com, Carol said. Make sure you go and visit Powerhouse in Motion. I love that Pamela. I love this Pamela. Lady Justine Hilliard said. Thank you, Coach P. Wait, that was a question. Go back for a second. What does your circle look like in 2024? And I think you kind of talked to that, but if you want to say something else, Pamela.
Yes, in terms of circle, I think Paula was just helping us by putting that information in there. However, assess your circles. So look for, and in particular, if I can share this, but look for associations or organizations like the eWomen Network, right? So it's a network of women who are building business, who can share. And two things you've got to consider. What is the value add to your business and your life? And then what's the cost? And does it fit into the budget, right? So we've got to look at the cost and then the ROI. What's the return on investment? How much are you going to be able to market yourself in the business? And also not just be served, but to serve as well. How can you give back, and what value can you add to the circle? So we've got to be mindful of the social circles, and then we need to have that tight-knit circle, right? So I have a group of accountability partners, and I have goals for my specific goals. I have the accountability partners in place for those. And so I have a couple of people that we do mastermind with. We bring our thoughts and we mastermind that. And then the accountability is, I have what I call a sniper accountability partner, and we're all about hitting those goals, right? And so determine what you need, and then find the people who are going to help you meet that need, and then you can also help them along the way.
That's perfect. That's perfect. We're going to keep things moving right along. We're going to take a quick commercial break and come right back. I work for Kim Jacobs' show, Kiwi. Okay. She said you're doing your one-off. Okay. Thank you, Mackenzie. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You can remove the comment, and we're going to go to a commercial break and come right back with Natasha Halliday, our mental health expert, right after this break. So go ahead and take us to break. We'll be right back, everybody.
Nothing says I love you more than final expense insurance whole life protection. With funeral advocacy nationwide, saving you and your family 30 to 80% off funerals and cremations. Nothing says I love you more than Get Insured Solutions, LLC. GetInsured.Solutions, 704-499-3616.
All right, everyone, we're back and we are talking with our FreeStyle Friday experts. Let's get ready to hear from our mental health expert, which is Natasha Halliday. I love your hair, by the way, Natasha.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, all. So I love everything. Kim, you didn't even set a theme, but as usual, there's always such synchronicity. I love how it all flows together.
Can you believe it?
I want to talk about, it's the new year, and I swear by like the third day, I was already seeing memes about people not following through on their New Year's resolutions. So I thought I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about the psychology of that, right? And personally, I don't set resolutions because I know myself. I'll set them, and I've given up on letting the time change make me think that that's going to be a magical solution to me now following through on stuff that I wasn't doing. So I think it's really important when you think about your New Year's resolutions, you look at what you fall off maybe early, or maybe it takes a while. Part of the reason we have to look at is, what was the reason we weren't engaging in the behavior before anyways? Good. The first of the year does not change that reason that keeps you from it. Whatever those roadblocks are, whatever those obstacles, you've got to actually examine it. So you've got to explore what the reason is, uncover that reason, and address the reason, right? I love what Coach P said. All that stuff about accountability, masterminds, all that stuff is a really good thing in following through. But I think it's important that we don't set ourselves up for failure. We're honest with ourselves. Last year, this time, I did a webinar called I'll Start on Monday, because all the times I started a diet on Monday, I was like, let's just talk about the psychology of forming goals that we're not necessarily checking if they're realistic. We're not necessarily checking if they're measurable. It's kind of, we get pumped up, and then how do we follow through when we're deflated? So I think it's important to look at, have we set goals that are too big? Are we setting small goals that take us to the bigger goal, right? How are we addressing that stuff? Are we making sure that we understand, like I said, what was the reason that we weren't doing those things to begin with? I don't know why the 1st of January means that all of a sudden I'm going to love exercise. I don't love exercise. It doesn't change on January 1st. I keep telling my mind to make it change. It hasn't happened yet. When I exercise, I do it. I enjoy some of it, but that can't be the only reason. I can't rely on motivation alone, right? We have to recognize that change is hard. We're creatures of habit. I don't know. You know what made me laugh? When I was a kid, they gave us a seating plan in school. When I got to high school, we gave our own seating plan. Wherever I sat the first day of class is where I expected to sit for the semester. That made no sense. We are creatures of habits. We have to recognize that once we get comfortable in something, we don't necessarily want to change. So we have to be aware of, change means we're going to be uncomfortable. If you expect to make these changes and stay comfortable, you're setting yourself up once again. So you have to, part of it is you have to commit to walking in discomfort until you get to the place that you want to go. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I wanted to quickly address, and I think I gave you this to you, Kim, is there's a model of stages of change. So we also have to check with ourselves, where are we in our stage of change? The first one's pre-contemplation, where you're only starting to become aware that something needs to change. Well, if we're setting a goal, chances are then we already know that, right?
Right.
Then we're looking at, now we start contemplating. I'm thinking about making this change. We have to prepare. So this is one of the things that sometimes makes New Year's resolutions harder to follow through on, is because if I say something like, I'm going to read more books in 2024. Am I checking what kind of books? Am I buying books? Am I, getting an Audible membership? So if I can't always physically read, I can listen to a book, but I'm still ingesting it. What am I doing to set myself up for success for the goal that I set? Right? So that stage is preparation. Action is you actually walk in it. Somebody said walk it out. So you're walking out the change. And then you got to maintain. Right? Who's lost some weight and then stopped when they got to their goal and thought your body was going to go, okay, I'll keep this up. No, it won't. You got to do the things that you did to get there in order to stay there. Yeah. So you have to be aware of this is kind of the process that change looks like. So when you're setting your New Year's resolutions, for those who do, keep this stuff in mind. You have to move past contemplation. Contemplation is not enough. You have to prepare, you have to move into action and actually do the thing. And then you've got to keep doing it to maintain it. So I think that stuff is really important. One thing I would love to just mention, I think this book is great. There's a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. He talks
I
about
love
the psychology of habits and how we make ones that we don't want to keep hard and ones that we want to keep easy. And when I tell you, like, something as simple as I wanted to increase my water intake, I read that book, and now I get up in the morning and I fill water bottles, and one's in my office, one's in the family room, one's in my bedroom, and the places I go the most in the house. Yep.
I just keep them right near.
Water.
I got that from the book too.
There. Yeah. Because then I'm not thinking as hard because I have it within hand's reach. And I can go in a different room and I have it within hand's reach, which makes it easier, right? So I just wanted to mention that because I think it's really great. Now,
I love that book.
Sorry?
I said I love that book, by the way, and I've read it multiple times, and my children have read it multiple times. So it's a game changer.
Yeah.
But just don't chew ice while you're hosting a show.
Now, the things to do right now, if you find that your New Year's resolutions are already slipping, reassess your goals. Now it's time to get honest with yourself and say, was it realistic for me to lose 30 pounds this month? Unless you're on one of those shows where they have you exercising 4 times a day and probably taking in a less than healthy intake of calories, you are not going to lose 30 pounds in a month.
Right.
You're going to lose 30 pounds a month by giving birth and something else or having surgery, but generally we're not losing 30 pounds in a month, right? So reassess your goal. Look at, are you assessing what the obstacles are? What are the things that got in the way? I had some goals, and then I had a major life situation in September that disrupted those goals, that are still affecting those goals. And so when I had to reassess and go, okay, now based on this, how do I still continue to work towards that, but understand that the path that I thought I was taking, it's not going to go in that exact same way, right? So track your progress. Are you even checking, right? Are you, sometimes we get so focused on destination that we miss that we're making progress in the journey, right? So if you think about standing at the bottom of the stairs, you don't look up and then try to jump up to the top of the stairs. You're just putting the medical profession in more business if you try that.
That's right.
You have to take it step by step. So are you setting yourself up to move in increments towards your goal, right? And establish some short-term goals. And those are essentially those steps. I'm going here first because it's a part of going there. But you can't jump, you can't skyrocket to there. We love to kind of have this microwave, boom, we're there in a second. But that's just not how it works. So we have to be aware of all these things, because ideally, if we don't, we're setting ourselves up for failure. And one of the things I find as a therapist is people will then beat themselves up. I had all these goals and see something's wrong with me. And I'm like, no, you're not even giving yourself a fair shot.
Right.
So start by giving yourself a fair shot, and then do things like, and make sure you're doing things like what Coach B said. Make sure you're getting that accountability, other people that you can talk to. I have somebody that told me at church, she said she had a book she wanted to read for years and she hadn't read it. I said, girl, give me your number. I'm going to text you. And I text her every few days. Where you at? I'm this place in the book.
Page.
Right? I check in. I'm her accountability, and I'll keep nagging her till we get our books done. Right? But sometimes we don't get these things done if we don't have these things happening. Right? So it's really important to do that. And I think, there was also some discussion about connecting with people who are doing similar things. I think the whole idea of the mastermind, but make sure that you're connected with like-minded people, because then you have dialogues that are organic that help you continue to move with what you're setting your goals to be. So that's what I wanted to offer today in terms of maybe not following through on resolutions, or how to keep following through on your resolutions.
Oh, this was incredible. Listen, y'all, again, it was a grand slam, because we got on home plate and Natasha knocked it out the park. And all of us made it home safely. So thank you for being the carrying up the tail end and getting us out of the park. Thank you. Listen, how do people stay connected with you, Natasha?
So with me, my social media is Natasha A. Halliday, NATASHA AHALLIDAY. And my website is natashahalliday.com.
All right. So you guys, if you're dealing with anything, you've made these resolutions. I've already made some resolutions. One that I'm going to honor throughout my lifetime is the word obedience. That's something that God has put in my spirit to do even more. Don't overthink it. Just do what he's instructed me to do. So obedience is not something I'm going back on. But I can tell you there are a couple of things I thought I was going to do, Natasha, which was write this. I have the whole manuscript. It's in a binder. And it's this thick. It's handwritten. All I need is to put it in the computer. Maybe I need to go to Upworks and just give somebody this. I don't know. But then I have to type it and give it to them. I could have already typed the book and had it out. Oh my gosh. I went on a cruise and I thought I would get it done on it. I actually took the manuscript. And guess what?
That's really cute that you thought you were going to work on a manuscript while you're on a cruise and probably see beautiful things.
That's right. That's right. But with Kim, this week, by next Friday. So Natasha, Athena, and Kiwan, we're going to hold you accountable to getting a tape recorder. I'm old school now, OG, right? on your phone, pushing on your phone, record.
That's right.
And grabbing that manuscript and just read. Then you can take that recording and send it to Upworks, and then they can go to work and type it out for you.
You know what?
There's also some where they will dictate, and you don't have to do it.
I actually teach that. I teach that. That's a crazy thing. I actually teach people. All you have to do is hit that little thing. I showed my son how to do it the other day, and he says it, and it types everything into the Word document. Why did I not apply that just now? Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
You've made my life complete. Okay. All right. So I personally, as the host of the Kim Jacobs Show, got something from today's Freestyle Friday experts. Thank you all. Thank you. All right, everybody. That is today's episode. We're going to get a closing comment from each of our experts, and we're going to close out. Kiwan, tell us a closing comment.
A great closing comment I'll leave you all with is just give yourself grace. This is the brand new year. Give yourself grace.
Give yourself grace. And y'all stay connected with him at amymotivation.com. I also put his website in the comment section. Pam, tell us a closing comment.
Inspect what you expect.
That's right. Always inspect what you expect. Stay connected with Pamela Lewing at powerhouseinmotion.com. Athena, give us a closing comment.
Know your value and know that you're worth every moment of it.
Know your value. Okay. And y'all stay connected with her, especially on her Instagram page, Red Honey. That's with 2 eyes and the number 7 on Instagram. Natasha, take it away and send us home.
If you didn't work on your goal today, tomorrow's a new day. You still have opportunities to work on it.
All right, everybody. Thank you in the virtual studio audience. We love you all. Hope you've enjoyed Freestyle Friday. We'll see you again Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Thank you, panel. Y'all were amazing. Bye-bye, everybody. You can take it away, Mackenzie. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward